In today's lecture, we are going to study the famous essay, The Gandhian Outlook, written by S. Dr. Radha Krishnan. This essay is about the outlook of Gandhi on the various issues of society and humanity. Here we come to know about the writer. Writer Dr. Radhakrishnan was a great philosopher, great orator, and thinker of the modern India. He was born on 5th September 1888. He passed away on 17th April 1975. He got many awards. The famous Indian award, the highest Indian award, that is Bharat Ratna. Next, Templeton Prize. And he rose to the highest post of India, the President of India. He became the first Vice President of India, then he became the President of the India. He wrote many books. The books are Indian Philosophy, which came into 1923, An Idealist View of Life, that was published in 1929. The next book is Philosophy of Hinduism. It served as and he served as a professor of philosophy in the Madras University. We can say that he was the greatest orator of the time. His speeches and writings are marked with the depth of thought and powerful expression. Once Sarojini Naidu commented about him that he was a man of words and wisdom. And this essay, The Gandhian Outlook, is taken from a speech that was delivered in a seminar on the contribution of Gandhian outlook and techniques to the solution of tensions between and within the nation. We can say this essay is about the vision of Gandhi, the ideas of Gandhi on the various political, social, and economic issues of the country and humanity. This speech is about the ideas of Gandhiji on the social, political, and economical problems of the country. It is about the outlook of Gandhi on the certain issues of nation. We can say that here Dr. Radhakrishnan elaborates the ideas of Gandhi in the modern and the present context. We can say Gandhi is made immortal through this speech by the writer. The essay begins in this sense. The writer writes in the very first line, I quote, Gandhiji was essentially a religious man, unquote. Generally, we think that a religious person is that person who goes to temple, who worships day and night, who is devoted to some religious cause. But it is not so about Gandhi. Gandhiji was a religious person. He rises above all the particular groups, loyalties, and becomes a universal man. It means he was not associated to this religious group or that religious group. He said goodbye to all these narrow loyalties and became a universal man, became a lifted man, uplifted man. What happens in the life of Gandhiji? Gandhiji in his practical life personally realized the theoretical implications of different religions. As he came to know that Hindus believe in the fearlessness and love, Buddhists talk about wisdom and love, Muslims talk about one God. Gandhiji implemented these ideas in his own personal life and lived for them. That is why we can say that Gandhiji was an universal man. He was a religious man in this sense. He followed and practiced the various spirits of all the religions. Gandhi tried to make us understand that despite narrow loyalties and artifices, it is possible to follow the great ideals of truth and love. Gandhiji advocated the life of truth and love. He believed definitely there are certain differences. These differences can be avoided and we can live a life of truth and love for the sake of the humanity, for the sake of our self-development. In what manner Gandhiji practiced all these principles, the principles of truth and love? He himself fasted, himself prayed, and finally declared, I quote, this is the line of conduct on which to proceed, unquote. See in what manner? First, Gandhiji tested and all these principles in his personal life. He experienced the importance of all these values of truth and love. Then he declared that this is the line on which one can proceed, this is the process on which can go forward. In this sense, we can say that Gandhiji was essentially a universal man, a man of great values. Gandhiji further declared that, I quote, if I'm unable to establish the validity of non-violence in India, it could as well be applied to the whole world, unquote. See in what manner Gandhiji said that he followed the principle of non-violence in India. He started the non-cooperation movement in 1922, and at that time he advocated the principle of non-violence. He further said that if this principle can be applied in India, it can be also applied to the whole world. The problem of the world can be solved on the basis of the non-violence, on the basis of truth, on the basis of love. That is how we argued. That was the manner of argument of Gandhiji in this sense. He also believed that political freedom could be won by non-violence methods. We see, in history we can see that there are so many ways to get the power, by fear, by terror, by violence. But Gandhiji advocated that political freedom could be won by this method of non-violence. That was the vision of Gandhi, that was the outlook of Gandhi about the political problems. He wanted to show to the world that the methods of murder, deceit and violence were not the only way to achieve political objectives. There are other ways, the ways of non-violence, the ways of love and truth. On the basis of these principles, we can achieve freedom. It was the love of Gandhiji for humanity. His intense love for humanity made him to follow the methods of non-violence. It shows how Gandhiji loved humanity. He was not associated only to India. He was associated to the whole world. His ideas were beneficial for the whole world. That's why his whole attitude was one of universalism. We can say that he was an international statesman. He further added, I quote, if you have conflict with Englishmen, let us not hate the Englishman, because both Englishmen and Indians are the offsprings of the same divinity, unquote. That at that time we were under the British government, we were fighting for freedom, and Gandhiji realized and Gandhiji advocated that we should not hate the Englishmen, because the Indians and Englishmen are both the children of the same God, of the same divinity. That was the love of Gandhi for humanity. Gandhiji further said that even though we have differences, we are still all brothers. That was the Gandhian outlook about social life, about the social structure. That definitely there are so differences are there, the caste differences there, religion differences are there, racist differences are there. But Gandhiji believed, okay, avoiding all these differences, we can live happily. We are still brothers and sisters. Gandhiji's whole attitude was to understand the opponents. He felt that even the political strife could be eliminated, could be finished. In what manner Gandhiji tried to understand the opponent, the opposite personality, the opposition. First, Gandhiji used to understand the ideas and feelings and other things of the opposite party. Then he would, then he would say something. Even means he felt that there are some importance in the ideas of the opposite person, in the ideas of the opponents. That's why he felt, he realized that even the political struggles could be eliminated, could be finished if we try to understand the ideas, the feelings of the opponents, the problems can be solved. Even in the case of love, it made him feel that other religions are also be regarded as valid as his own. Sometimes it appears that there are religious struggles, there are religious strikes. People say that Hindu religion is the best religion. Some people say that the Muslim religion is the best religion. But it was not the idea of Gandhi. It was not the outlook of Gandhi. It was not the vision of Gandhi. Gandhi said, Gandhi made us realize that other religions are also as important as our religion is. The idea that our religion is supreme, another is not, it is only spiritual pride. Suddenly people say that our religion is supreme, our religion is great, but in the ideas of Gandhiji, it was not so. Other religion, all the religions have equal value. All the religions have same value, the value of truth and love. All the religions have same essence, the essence of truth and love. And to understand and respect other religion as he himself did. See, what was the approach of Gandhi? Gandhiji tried to understand the other religion and respected all the other religions as himself practiced. That was the standpoint of the truth. That truth happens to the essence of all the religions. He advocated that either it is Muslim religion, either it is Hindu religion, there is one essence of all the religion, that is the truth. He realized this. He made the other people realize that truth and love are the essence of all the religions. He wanted that everyone should practice both in mind and spirit. That was the outlook of Gandhi, that every person should try to practice the concept of truth in mind and spirit, in action and words both. And we see in the constitution of our country, there are certain values, the principles of truth and value are there. It was due to Gandhiji's teaching, as Gandhiji advocated the principles of truth, and these are included in the articles of the Indian Constitution. The cause of fear, uncertainty and confusion is that we have not satisfied our hunger of truth or something that creates universal brotherhood. See, try to understand this idea. Certainly, sometimes we live a life of hunger, we live a life of fear, we live a life of uncertainty, we live a life of confusion. It is due to that we have not satisfied our idea of truth, our hunger of truth. And we fail to understand the universal brotherhood. Definitely, if these fears are removed, if these uncertainties are removed, if the confusion is removed, definitely we can live a life of universal brotherhood. The writer writes about the Gandhian outlook. I quote, Gandhi wished us to love and sympathize with other people, unquote. Us to love and sympathize the other people. That is the very essence, the core essence of Gandhiji's ideas. That we have to love and sympathize the other people, the other religion, the other society, because all the people have same value. There are no differences. He wanted to say that our primary loyalty must be to the human race, that we are the child of God, that we are the human race, and that's why we should love each other and we should respect each other and we should sympathize with each other. That was the real essence of Gandhian outlook. We see with the progress of science, there are certain changes have taken place, but something more deeper, something more universal in appeal to man is necessary. This is a great change that should be brought out in the minds of the people, in the actions of the people. Science has given too much to us, but we fail to a deeper approach, the deeper universal appeal to these problems of the society, and it is necessary for the development of love and truth in man's thinking. Sometime national loyalties must be subordinate to the larger cause of the humanity. The national dispute can be resolved if Gandhiji's ideas are adopted. It means sometimes there is a problem of this family. We subordinate the problem of the family to the society. Sometimes we subordinate the family of the society to the nation. And when there is a greater cause, larger cause of the humanity, we subordinate our national loyalties. It means we can live to the path of international society. We can live to the path of universal law. The national disputes can be resolved if Gandhiji's ideas are adopted here. Dr. Radhakrishnan wants to say, if Gandhiji's approach is taken seriously, if Gandhiji's ideas are taken seriously, that the problems of the nation, the problems of the society can be resolved easily. He used to say, if a happier world order has to be evolved for the good of the future generation, we must believe in universal brotherhood. Today we see the great countries, the superpowers have created atom bombs, missiles for the destruction of the mankind. But here Gandhiji wanted to say that if we have to create a better world for the future generation, we must believe in the ideas of brotherhood, in the ideas of the universal brotherhood. That's why we can think better for the coming generation, for the future generation. We have to bring transformation of our society with goodwill and understanding. That was the real approach of Gandhiji towards the problems of the society. We should have goodwill and understanding toward the problems of the society. We must develop goodwill and understanding toward the issues of the society. Then we can create a better world. Then we can create a better society. In this manner, Gandhiji gives a suggestion that the role of self-denial is the best medium for educating others. Very important. All the time we say that the certain person will become the president, that the certain person will become the leader, that the certain person will become the minister. But here Dr. Radhakrishnan suggests the idea of Gandhi that if we deny ourselves, if we deny the self, then all the problems can be solved better, and it is the best way to educate the others. It is the best way for educating the others. The self-denial is very important for the development of the society, the development of the nation, the development of the international world. And finally, he gives the best principle of life, that is non-violence. Non-violence is the best principle of life, and it is the essence of all the religions, and it can be the best. See what manner Gandhiji advocated. Here, Dr. Radhakrishnan says that it was the approach of Gandhi that he wanted to say that non-violence is the best idea, that non-violence can become the essence of all the religions, and it can become the religion of the world. Gandhi was always anxious that means must be as pure as the end itself. See in what manner Gandhiji's approach toward the means and ends. That as pure as the end itself means certainly our aim, our purpose should be pure. In the same manner, to get that purpose, to get that aim, our means should be pure, our means should be clear. Both means and end should be holy. In this manner, Gandhiji advocated, and Dr. Radhakrishnan says that it was the approach of Gandhi toward the life that means and end should be holy, should be pure. Finally, we say that he advocated the idea of truth and love, the idea of universal love, because these are the essence of all the religion, either it is the Hindu religion, or the Muslim religion, or Buddhist, what may be. Every religion has one sense, the sense of truth and love. That's why Gandhiji advocated that truth is God. He changed the concept. Earlier people used to say, yeah, God is truth. But Gandhiji made the people realize that truth is God, and it is the guiding principle of life. It was the further approach of Gandhi that he practiced the principle of non-violence in his personal life. He practiced, he advocated, and he applied this principle to the national issues and to the international issues. Finally, Gandhiji said that if you want to live better, if you want to live in for the sake of cooperation and goodwill, that universal brotherhood is necessary for the development of the nation. And finally, he advocated that means and the end should be pure. Both means and ends should be holy. And actually, the famous scientist Einstein commented about the life of Gandhi that the future generation would not believe that such a great person was born on this earth. Gandhiji was a man, no doubt, but his ideas were holy, his concept was holy. He advocated for the purpose of the universal law. He advocated the certain principles of life, and finally added that for the future generation we should live a life of non-violence, truth, and love. Thanks.